welcome to another exciting episode of Two Dudes and a Couch, where we go to the ends of the internet to bring you independent horror that's worthy of your attention. I'm Brian.
And I'm Travis, and today's review is 15508.
This entry is from Nikki and Jason Chatwin from Sick Bunny Pictures.
If they did run out the back way, the light would have gone on.
So Travis, what did you think of that trailer?
You know, there's two camps when it comes to this kind of film. There's those who want more of it and just can't get enough, and then there's those who despise it and wish it would just go away.
That's true, Travis. If you think about it, it's the perfect setup for indie filmmakers. One, man, you don't need that much money to get something made. Two, you don't have to worry about getting the shots that perfect, since the camera is like being held by the actor the entire time. Three, you easily can get away with inexperienced actors. Four, you can easily be relaxed with the script because, you know what? People stumble over the words in real life, so it's okay.
Not to mention the fact that the found footage concept makes it easy for directors to pull a few scares.
Alright, I think it's time we find out what happened in 15508.
Alright, I'll start the show. And we're back. So Brian, what are your thoughts on 15508?
Well, Travis, man, if fans like that found footage look, I think they're going to enjoy this and want actually to come back for some more. So now that we know what happened on 15508, I think it's time we need to break it down.
The storyline is simple and straightforward. Two guys and two girls are just hanging out. They know that the neighbors are away on a trip or something, so they're intrigued when they find out that there's lights coming on and there's some disturbances going on next door. In true horror fashion, instead of doing the common sense thing and calling the police, they decide to grab a video camera and see if they can catch a little action, which usually isn't a good idea.
This is a difficult one. Due to the nature of the film, most of the dialogue is bouncer back and forth between the characters as whether there really is something going on, and if so, what they should do about it. So, unfortunately, there isn't much in the way of character development here.
As is the case with most found footage films, the camera control and setup shots are thrown out the window in lieu of a grab the camera and let's do this approach. While not as shaky as films like The Blair Witch Project and Cloverfield, I found it difficult to tell what was really going on next door, because most of the footage was shot using a night vision setting. It was also at long distance and through a window.
There were some scenes in the film that were difficult to hear, and I found myself reaching for the remote quite often. I'll give credit to the directors in regards to the screams and the breaking of the glass in the film. Those sounded great, and I really got a feel that those things were actually happening in the distance. I mean, this is good here, because I've watched a lot of films where it seemed like most of the stuff was actually happening right next to the microphone, which isn't realistic. So great job to them for finding or actually creating those sounds.
With these types of films, it's usually difficult to judge the acting. Considering this is their first film, the acting was pretty decent. For those who want to judge the acting in a film like this, consider how you would look and sound if someone just turned on a camera and started following you around. Because that's basically what was going on.
This is about as low budget as it gets in the world of indie films, which really isn't a bad thing considering it's found footage. The directors were able to forego the effects that are the usual staples of horror films, because the action happened so fast and it was very dark. So one effect that was done surprisingly well was the video feed distortion and the sound effects that surrounded it. That effect has been done before, but the Sick Bunnies were actually able to use it to add another scream or two. It actually reminded me of one of the effects that they used in the movie VHS, and it actually worked better here than it did in that film, so kudos to Sick Bunnies.
Even though this film clocks in at only 16 minutes long, it simply took too long for the action to take place. Maybe it was because of the night vision, or maybe it was because of how far away it really was, but I didn't have any kind of scared feeling from that part of the footage. I couldn't see what they were talking about. It wasn't until the intruder finally walked past a window that I noticed that there was actually somebody there. But that's when it got real.
Another idea would have been to do a playoff from the movie Rear Window and have the group witness a murder, and when the girl screams when the window opens, the killer turns and looks out, setting the stage for what's to come.
The last thing we'll mention here is with the killer. Even though he was on screen for just a moment, he was really cool. He left me wanting more of him on screen.
I will say this, for your first outing with little equipment, you pulled out some really decent screams. It showed a lot of potential for future projects.
I agree, guys. I think if you introduce that killer earlier, give him more time on screen, and maybe add a little blood, it will do wonders for your next project.
Well, I guess all that leaves is the rating.
Two Dudes and a Couch gives 15508
2 kill rating. While there was faults with this film, we can easily see your enthusiasm and passion for the horror genre. So you horror fans that love found footage, you should definitely give this a watch.
So if you're in the mood for a found footage, night vision, creaky stairs, group who should have called the popo, creepy mask, hatchet wielding, grocery bag carrying, killer flick, then check out 15508 on YouTube.
And when you're done, head over to Kojo Films on Facebook. Tell us what you thought of 15508. We want to hear from you.
Alright guys, we just wanted to real quickly give a shout out to all the sponsors and partners who are helping us reach as many people as possible.
These guys and gals are dedicated to the horror genre, and honestly, they need your support too. They include for their hard work and dedication, Two Dudes and a Couch give our coveted five kill rating.
To find links to all of their pages, check out the About section under this video on YouTube. Check them out, give them a like, and tell them that Two Dudes sent you.
So, Travis, I think that's it, man.
Oh, no.
What?
What?
Oh, you're right. There's one last thing.
So until then, stay bloody.